Everton versus Spurs fixture on paper, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be the worst boring game ever to watch, and then it turned out to be a 5-4, a goal fest really, which was surprising considering both teams are so defensive and counter sort of attack teams. But I feel like Man City are it's a rich way of form. I think they're unstoppable. I know Kane might be back playing and all of that, but for me, we know how Mourinho is going to play. Well, he's going to put everyone behind the ball and probably have Kane a little bit forward and then Son to make those runs with Bergwijn or somewhere else. So I feel like that's modern football doesn't really there's so many chances and way out of way of attacks that it's hard, and Spurs are defensively leaking goals. So I don't feel like they have the defense to keep City out for 90 minutes. And I don't see them scoring many in return with that defense that City is doing. What Guardiola has done very well this year is solidified his defense, which was always his problem compared to last year and the years before. And he's gotten a bit of a pragmatic approach, which I thought he would never do. But he's sort of reinvented himself a little bit. And in the beginning of the season, I was thinking, "Whoa, what a lackluster City performance! I wouldn't expect that from him." And now it looks amazing. So. Yeah,
it's totally changed from the beginning of the year. You say he's reinvented, but it does look more like a Guardiola side now than it did at the beginning of the year. And I think,
but geez, the amount of money they've spent.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Like, centre back doesn't work, go get another one. You got Ake in there, not even playing, never played. One game, what is it?
It's such a shame because he was someone who I liked. I liked watching Ake.
Yeah.
But I knew he was another one who I knew. Just like, unfortunately, when Chelsea and City sign too many players, they're maybe not going to get an opportunity or a chance to do anything.
Honestly, I feel like
look at De Bruyne, look at Salah. They're perfect examples of what happened at Chelsea. Didn't get an opportunity, didn't get a chance.
They need to have some. I don't understand financial fair play, and they need to have some sort of cap just because this doesn't happen, so that this doesn't happen to players. I don't care
by everyone. You should have a certain amount of players in your squad, and that's it.
I feel
agree,
like it's such a
100%.
waste having players like this, and you just make them sick. Like, I'm sure Ake would have done well for a sort of an Arsenal or an Everton or someone like that. I'm sure he would have done.
Would have done great for us this year. I would have been happy to have him.
It would have been great for you guys. It would have been great for the likes of Spurs, who seem to be struggling with a decent left back. I know Oli wanted a left-sided centre back, for example, for Man United. He could have been playing somewhere first team football, and he's sitting on the bench nowhere near the squad.
If he makes the bench, that is unfortunately as well. So in terms of, I suppose, in terms of City, I think they've got 2 games this week as well. Another game following this quite quickly. I think Gundogan and Rodri are just phenomenal. The last few games they've been ridiculous, but so is Sterling and
Foden.
So Foden's going to be he'll be huge if he stays there. He'll be a legend of the club. Wherever he moves, I think he will turn into a great player. As long as he's got the right man management around him, I think he gets a lot of time off Guardiola. So, I think
predictions.
I think because of the game week, I think they won't play their usual all-out game, but I think they'll definitely win. I still think they'll win. So I think I'll call it 2-0. Just I don't think it will be that much of an exciting game.
I think I'll agree with that.
Yeah. All right. I'm unhappy you've agreed with that now, but that's okay. All right, so next game. Next game I'd usually be quite excited about. For some reason, I don't feel that excited about it, and that's Brighton versus Villa.
Oh, 2 very good teams, very good managers. Dean Smith doing very well, Graham Potter doing very well. I feel like Brighton will be the more attacking of the two in terms of playing on the day. Dean Smith's side will naturally sort of sit back a little bit and play very well with Barkley and Grealish on the counter. Although they do attack, but they're just a little more conservative compared to Brighton. Brighton play some lovely football sometimes. They do leak a lot of goals, so I feel like it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a 1-0 Villa win. To be honest, that's my prediction on it.
Yeah, fair enough. That's probably a good prediction. I think I'm gonna go with a 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, just because it's at Brighton. They're quite good at home. And
I mean, I can see it going that way.
Yeah. And I Villa, although when Grealish is on hot form, we all know he's amazing.
Do you reckon he's going to stay next year?
He's had so many opportunities in his career. I remember when he came through as a youth, he's had so many opportunities to leave, and he's never left. and he's had opportunities to join. He was called up to the Irish squad, and he didn't go, and all this kind of stuff. He's had lots of things, but he seems quite loyal. So I don't know if he will go. If he does, though, I can see him going to a club like your club, and that would upset me. I can see him going to United.
I would love him
because I can see him as a United player with that slick hair. I don't appreciate his hairstyle because it reminds me of a Man United player. It just reminds me of a Man United player in general.
Yeah. I think we've lost a lot of that swagger, to be honest. But if he comes, I'd be happy over the moon.
It'd be a great signing.
He can play both sides, but I feel like, I don't know, Board's incompetent. I'll just leave it at that.
We're starting our own rumours here. Grealish to United. Hopefully not. So Saints versus Wolves.
Saints are in a bad run of form.
Wolves.
Hasenhüttl. I love Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, me too.
It was terrible to see the 9-0
his
loss.
Second 9-0
loss. And to be fair, that second red card, obviously we all know, we've talked about it enough everywhere, so I don't want to harp on too much about it.
Harp on. It's not a red card. It's not a red card. It wasn't a penalty. The other one should have been a goal. That's my opinion, but there you go.
With the other one, it's VAR and all of that, so the whole line thing doesn't make sense to me. I sometimes don't understand it.
They need to fix this up across for everyone.
I don't know.
It's too much. Yeah.
But it's like the thing was from a human emotion perspective, right, it was so not needed. Like they've already 4-0 down, 5-0 down when that happened. Yeah, just give him a yellow card if anything.
Yeah.
Like use some, I mean, I know there's the rule of the law and all of that. I feel like it's so by the book now that you sort of have to leave your brain at home and officiate sometimes, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I do in terms of predictions. I think it's a tough one to call because they're not doing very well. I hope they win. Let me check. But Wolves is such a defensive unit. It's hard. I don't like their football after so long, to be honest. Wolves. I
used to love watching them. Last season, the season before, this season I haven't enjoyed watching them again.
Yeah, and especially they don't look the same without Jimenez. They look terrible without him.
And without Jota.
And without Jota, who sort of gave them that little extra credibility.
Yeah, he could come on and change it just like he's been doing for us so far.
Yeah, I'll go with the Saints win just because I feel it. I think that they'll be more attacking of the two, and hopefully they do well.
Okay, I think 1-0 Wolves.
Oh, you think 1-0 Wolves? Okay.
Yeah, we've gone opposite there, but again, I just think it's going to be I think it'll be a lackluster game, and I think it will take a single counter-attacking game. Maybe Traore, and that's it.
I think these guys will do. Like Southampton will play their game. The Saints will play their game in terms of style, very high press, good sort of running and all that. But they're a bit of an injury ravaged side at the moment. So they could hurt.
Who did look good, and yes, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'll say it. But Minamino looked excellent.
He did.
And to be honest, if he can get that game time up, and he can give them that extra bit of influence, support Ings up front. Give Che Adams an extra bit of output as well. That could be exactly what they need.
I feel like he's not on Liverpool level yet, but if he plays for Southampton on consistent basis and he does perform well, he could get back into that team.
And that's why I think he's out on loan. So, all right, your boys, West Brom against United. I'll talk about this one first. So I think, and we're gonna agree on 1 point 100% here. Well, we'll probably agree on 2, including probably the result. But one thing, I think De Gea needs to be dropped. I think he needs to be dropped and given some time on the bench. And I think Dean Henderson needs to be given an opportunity and a chance because he's a very promising keeper. And De Gea just looks a little flaky, and you're a little bit worried if you're a United fan with him at the moment. So that's my opinion on that. West Brom, though, they don't look great at the moment. Allardyce hasn't come in and done what I thought he would.
I didn't see the new manager bounce this time. Like maybe when I saw the Liverpool game, I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna pull another miracle.
Yeah, he did it to us.
But
doesn't work every time.
But yeah, I agree. I don't think he's gonna survive this season. That's my opinion. I mean, he could prove me wrong, but I feel like by the way things are going, he might not be able to pull this one off. But with De Gea, it's a tough one, man. I feel like we've got a certain amount of loyalty towards him, but at the end of the day, you've got to be ruthless if you're going to be a title-winning club, and that means you've got to have some players in there who are dependable 100% all of the times. I remember the mistakes he made against Tottenham last season, and then all those big mistakes. And there are two, like we spoke about Alisson a while ago, and the last mistake come to mind was about 3 years ago. With De Gea, it was not too long ago, and he does look a bit flaky. And I think, who's going to buy him? And you can't have a keeper with 350 grand or whatever he gets paid a week on the bench. I feel like that's why they're not going to leave him on the bench. No other team's going to buy him and pay that amount of wage either. Yeah. So I feel like even if he's going to be on the bench, he's going to be like the world's most expensive keeper on the bench, which is going to be ridiculous. Plus, they've paid Dean Henderson 120k as well, which is like insane amount of money for a second keeper. Anyway, just to keep him. And I think Oli said he's not the most patient guy waiting on the bench either, and I think he shouldn't be as well. Like, he's a good, promising keeper. If you give him a good run of games. What I like about Dean Henderson is compared to De Gea, obviously De Gea's got a credit in the bank, which Dean Henderson currently does not as much, right? He's lost a lot of that, fair enough. But he's been there for so long. Dean Henderson doesn't. But what I like about Dean Henderson is, he's very vocal. He sort of commands his box a little bit better than De Gea. He's very strong on like coming out and grabbing the ball, whereas De Gea is more, trying to shot stop and all of that.
Great shot stopper.
Yeah, he's a great shot stopper. And I feel like, there's this difference that has happened is, when Man United used to get battered, and De Gea used to save us all the time, it's because of he used to get those constant shots, like point blank range shots. And
every time you'd play Liverpool, he'd save you.
Yeah, exactly. So he used to basically be saving us point blank. He was the most amazing keeper. But I think now you require more concentration and less of that, because you're not going to get as many shots off late.
Yeah.
And since that's happened, since that new squads come in, and there's been a little sort of 50-50, those matches that are 50-50, and you probably don't get a shot every 2 minutes like you used to when we were playing defensive football. I feel like there has sort of lost concentration. He loses concentration very easily. Yeah? So I feel like he I don't know, like Klopp saying cold feet or whatever it is, but basically he doesn't move as fast, or he makes these odd mistakes and all of that. His distribution was never really good, to be honest, in the past as well. So that's not a complaint. Like we knew what that was.
Yeah, that's not something new.
It is
for me though. Like for me with him, and this says something about a top goalkeeper. So out of the clubs who are at the top at the moment and challenging for a European spot, not a Champions League European, because I'm including a few other clubs in there. There's only one other goalkeeper I would have less than I would have him at the moment, and that's Pickford. Pickford, I think, is not a good goalkeeper. I don't rate Pickford, but that's a whole different.
Mate, I don't rate
conversation.
Pickford, and I don't rate Gareth Southgate as much, to be honest. I do know he's doing better than other coaches, but I feel like if England want to win the Euros, for example, they need to do better. They need to reach higher than Gareth Southgate. Yeah. To be honest,
they need a different style of football.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, fair
enough. Well, all right. So let's talk about result. I'm gonna go Man United 3-0.
Yeah, I feel like we might.
2 penalties to Fernandes.
Yeah.
What's your prediction for the Man
United? I think Man United 2 and West Brom 0. I'm not gonna be. Yeah.
Okay. And a penalty.
And we'll talk about it. That's a myth this season at least. I mean, there's other teams that have gotten more penalties.
Sure. But anyway, Arsenal versus Leeds. That's a game I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Arsenal Leeds. You're not. I can tell by your face, but I am.
I feel like I love watching Leeds, and I think Arsenal are doing well since they've gotten on that terrible run. The game will be good, I think, but it's gonna be a hard one to call because the Leeds that turned up at Man United could turn up, who got battered, and then you've got this sort of last few games they've been defensively a little more stable, which is what I'd like to see, and that's when they play better. They almost can control the results. So. Hopefully they do well. I'm hoping for a Leeds victory because I would love to banter Arsenal fans if they get out of Europe altogether.
Yep. I agree with that.
Let's see.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, but I think it'll be a close game. I think Arsenal could win it because they're in a rich vein of form, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if I had to call it, I'll say if I had to call it. My heart says Leeds 2-1 or something, but I would say Arsenal probably 2-1.
I'm gonna go for a draw here. I'm gonna go for 2-1. I'm gonna go for Bamford 2 goals because he's in my FPL team as well, and so I think Bamford's been up and down this season, but he hasn't really been in bad form. He's just been getting a lot of goals. I think he's already got 10, and so he's doing quite well. But I'll go with them. I think I love watching Arsenal as well this season because there's been a lot of downs there, but a lot of the reason I love watching them is for Arsenal Fan TV. So when they lose, I love watching AFTV. So